Hi, it's Marina the Soul Alchemist. It's time for Pick Your Own Card weekly guidance for the 6th through to the 12th of January. So we have done the first week. We have broken the cherry of 2025, and we are now, we're set to move forward, which of course you know that already. So this is your weekly guidance. This is where you get to pick your own message. And I want you to tune into cards one, two, or three, which I'm going to show you now on the screen. So one, two, or three. And I'm going to reveal the messages, themes, and energies that are supporting you over the next 7 days. I am using the Akashic Oracle card deck, which is a modality in a box. So it's not just a deck of cards, which you can do oracle readings from and get wisdom and insight and guidance. It's actually a healing tool as well. So it does come with a free masterclass that helps you to get started, get familiar with the cards, get to understand how to enter the Akashic Records in a very conscious way using the cards. And also you get a key that you turn into a pendulum to activate karmic healing. And I show you how to do that all in the masterclass. So they are free bonuses that come with the cards. So if you want to know more about the cards, let me know. Or check out the link in the description. Okay, so the bonus card this week is growth and up level, which of course we want growth and up level right near the beginning of 2025. So this is kind of like, in some ways, setting a precedence for this ongoing kind of like journey that we're going to be taking through 2025. And this is not going to be anything, this is not going to be a surprise. However, some of us, for a growth and up level perspective, may need to re-tap into this to expand the connection further, to maybe unlock some further gifts that are connected, that are supportive of that connection, and also may need to be facilitated by that connection as well. This will make sense when I show you the card. So with regards to the three cards, as always, I'd like to encourage you to listen to all three messages so you get a full kind of rich reading that's going to help you through this next 7 days. But what I feel is what we've got with these cards is there's two of the cards that are kind of an aspect of us that are going to help facilitate our incarnation, who we are in this now present moment. So there's two cards, the bonus card being one of those, and card number one that helps facilitate the other two cards. So you can see that listening to all of the cards is just basically going to give you that whole picture. Okay, so the first card that we've got, so if you pick card one as your main focus, mine was card two, but card one is the kind of like the starting, it's the foundational point, and it is past lives. Now, in the reading that we did last week, with card three was the Akashic Records. That was kind of the foundational reading. It was the first reading of kind of like 2025. I picked card three. Of course I did. So Akashic Records, it's using this space, using this etheric realm as an empowerment tool to really help facilitate your 2025, your journey, your soul journey, your human incarnation in this lifetime. So we now kind of move into this next week, and the first card following from card three into card one is past lives. There's no coincidences here. So this is really kind of, again, highlighting that looking at our past lives, looking at our past experiences, our connections, our relationships, our contracts, our bonding, karmic bonding, our cycles, loops, all of these types of things, patterning, our agreements, things that may be kind of like negatively influencing our experience at the moment, which we are ready to release. Past lives, looking at these aspects, look at all of these doors that are open in this card, which indicates that there is always a new doorway, there is always a new pathway, there's always a new thread within the Akashic Records, a new book to open that can just change the trajectory of our experience. And it only has to be a micro shift to have big impact. So don't think that we have to do all of this singing and this dancing and this like massive kind of like leap of faith the leaps of faith actually can come in very, very small ways. But we've got these doors open. We've got all of these opportunities, these threads, these doors. And when we start to look at our past lives, and if you don't believe in reincarnation, that is perfect. You don't need to believe in reincarnation to use your Akashic records. That might be a belief that you have, that I can't use my records because I don't believe in reincarnation. It doesn't matter. What we're doing here is we're just working with energy, and you happen to have a specific space that holds all of that information. It's like Google for the soul. That's all you need to think of the Akashic records. You don't need to get tied up in like past lives and things like that. Just know that there is these bits of information, these experiences that have been recorded energetically. And if you want to change the influence of that because it's not serving you now, then you have the power to do that. And that's what this card is saying. So if there are things that are still kind of like niggling you, what I really kind of got with these cards when I tuned into all of these cards was fear. So if there are fears, like for me, time is a massive one that we can really use against ourselves, that we fear that we're running out of time, that we can use time as a weapon. We can use time as a motivator, but we can surely use it to punish ourselves as well. And we can blame time, don't feel that we have enough time. Actually, it's all an illusion because time doesn't actually exist. It's a 3D construct. It doesn't exist in the 5D. So if you are using time, and if you have lots of sayings around time, or you use time as an excuse, or you in particular, then just really notice that this week, because that is something that potentially is holding you back. And it might be that it is linked with past lives. That's where the time element comes in with this, that there's an experience that connects with time in some shape or form, and you're still kind of feeling that, you're experiencing that. But even if it doesn't connect with past lives, just notice what your relationship is with time. Do you ever feel that you have not enough? Do you feel that you have absolutely oodles of it? And do you feel that you waste time? So then you feel guilty about that because you're not doing anything with your time. You're just sitting around, you're relaxing, you're resting. But oh my God, I'm not doing all of the things. So I am wasting my time. We can have then some guilt and shame around that, because then we may start to label ourselves as lazy because I'm not using my time effectively. But what if resting and recuperation actually is a perfect use of time, and your body will thank you for that? But mentally and programming wise and conditioning wise, we would say something else. So it's really interesting what relationship we have around time. And I think for me, this card is coming up for you to just really be conscious of your language and your behaviors, your response, your excuses, the reasons why you put things off and you don't do things. I'll do that next week. That's got the time element. Or maybe you're spending a lot of time thinking about the past and you're keeping yourself stuck in the past, going over a painful memory. Or, what if I'd chosen a different route? I wish I hadn't done that. That's keeping you in the past. And it's like, well, let's just do some acceptance around that. We can't change the past. Actually, we can change parts of influences of the past. That's why we use the Akashic records. We can't change the actual experiences because they're already done, recorded. We don't do that, but we certainly change our response to that. And it's the responses and it's the reactions that keep us stuck. Now, if you're kind of constantly going backwards into the past, wishing that you'd done something different, or you had said this, or you had done that, then things would be different. This is another thing where, look at what comes up this week. And it might be that, you don't feel that there is anything that, you're not doing that at all. And what's Marina going on about? But you might find that there's a trigger this week that then does take you into the past, or there is something that comes up that you put off or you make an excuse about because I haven't got the time for that. Or I'm too old. I can't do that. Again, we're putting time, we're putting age, we're putting ourselves under this punishment. of time. So if you pick card one, you might find that time is a thing, whether it's past, whether it's future. So, we can also do a lot of future tripping also. And what it means is that we're not in the present. And this card is also asking for us to be more present, because that's when we become more conscious, and that's where we really open up and are able to consciously choose a different reality, choose a different action, choose a different thought, feeling, respond rather than react. And that starts to change the course of our experience. That starts to allow us to walk through a different door. So hopefully that makes sense. I know that that was quite a long message, long channeled message that was coming through. Let me know how the cards are resonating, that first one. If you are about to listen to card two, go and listen to card one, because this is going to help your card two. If you want to go deeper with your own session, then I can hold space for you for a whole year on the Akashic Empowerment Oracle package. That's 4 sessions per year, every quarter. It includes Akashic record healing and a forecast for the next 3 months. So that is a subscription-based package, which is affordable, and you get 1 session for free when you sign up in that way. Okay, so card two. So we've talked about the card one and the foundational card there, and where we may be tripping ourselves up, maybe with the focus, maybe with the excuses around time, bits and pieces there. Card two, your main focus here, and I feel that this is probably, this is going to be able to happen when we are dealing with card one, and we're letting go of whatever needs to be let go of there, or we're making different conscious choices. It facilitates card two. And card two is your authentic self. So allowing yourself to maybe more deeply connect, maybe be more authentic. So once you're starting to, so for instance, if it was a past life thing that was going on here with the card one, and you're finding that things are coming up from the past, which have meant that you've needed to protect yourself and shield yourself, and maybe show up in a slightly different way because it was serving you at the time. But as we start to release the threads of those old experiences, or the traumas that are connected with those experiences, or the limiting beliefs, or whatever it might be, the wounds, it allows us to heal, but then it also allows us to start to reveal or connect to those more authentic aspects of ourselves that maybe have been hidden up until this point, because there was good reason for that. So again, we're not making ourselves bad or wrong, but it's just then noticing through this week, what more authentic pieces, beliefs, paths, things that you want to maybe follow or try or sign up to, that are just starting to feel more authentic to you. What relationships and friendships maybe you need to step back from, because they're starting to really jar on you, and it's starting to feel uncomfortable, and maybe you're not really as adept at doing the small talk that you used to, and you want more meaningful connections in your experience, more that feel more authentic, that feel more true, that there isn't this pretense that is going on around it. There isn't this kind of like focus on things that basically don't interest you anymore. You couldn't give a monkeys. And that's because we shift, we evolve, and what feels important to us changes. And again, so we're not making anything bad or wrong, because we're a soul that's evolving on the ascension journey and path. And so the things that were once important can now no longer feel important. And that can include habits, behaviors, beliefs, people, locations, jobs. It can all come under that, and obviously more. And so what you'll find is, if you pick card two, is that you might just start to see more things being peeled away, more things that were once important, now just like, well, that just doesn't light me up anymore. That just doesn't have the same, like, I don't have that same impulse or desire or need around it. And actually, I'm starting to shift my attention to, maybe it's like wanting to set up a garden plot and start to grow your own vegetables. That might be the thing that's really starting to become important in terms of knowing where your food comes from and starting to eradicate the chemicals that are placed and the chemicals that you're ingesting and digesting into your body. And that might be just like something that just starts to really become important for you. The quality of your water, the way, you know, the connection with your body. Really kind of, again, this is about presence and really kind of being more conscious with your choices. The conscious part needs that authentic self. And that's where the authenticity and that part of you that's wanting to come forward is going to start to influence those choices and also this consciousness. So what you're going to find if you pick card two is that you might find that there's just some more conscious pieces that are coming online this week. Maybe just another layer of authenticity that feels safe to come forward for you to see, to you to connect with, maybe you know, not question as in what are you doing here, but it's just like, oh, okay, I didn't know this about myself, or I didn't realize that this was important. This was a value, and it now does feel like a value. It does feel key for me. So this is your authenticity starting to make itself known. And as I say, just know that we do evolve and change. So there's no judgment, there's no criticism here. This is just knowing that you're evolving and growing all of the time. And it's just what I would say, coming back to card one and the past lives, is not keeping yourself in the old version of you. And knowing that the old version, the old identities are, you know, we're shedding them all of the time, you know, but it's just being conscious and aware that we facilitate that process in the most loving way. Yeah. And we witness it and acknowledge it. So your authentic self, beautiful card. That's the card that I've picked, which is perfect. Now, for some of you with the authentic self, as I say, that one of the main emotions that I pulled up through all of these cards is there might be a fear around that. So use your Akashic records, use, you know, like beautiful self-reflection questions to ask yourself, what do I fear around being authentic? With myself, authentic with my friends, authentic with my family, authentic with my work colleagues, or, you know, wider community. What do I fear about being authentic? That one simple question could take you much deeper to get to the root of that. Once you've found the root, ask for it to be, if it is possible for your highest good, ask for any roots that are not serving you now of blockage, programming, conditioning, experiences, whatever it might be, fears, to be released from your records, and replace that energy, that void space, with unconditional love. If you're not quite sure whatever to fill the void, when I talk about the void, whenever we're shifting energy, especially from our own Akashic records or our multidimensional being, we are leaving a space there. We are shifting the energy and we're leaving a space, and we don't want to just allow that space to be filled with anything. So we are then intentionally and consciously filling it with a really beautiful frequency, and unconditional love is a perfect one to go as a go-to. But of course, you could use joy, you could use happiness, you could use contentment, you could use abundance, prosperity, whatever it might be for you. Okay, moving on to card three. Again, this is another layer and aspect of us. There could be the spheres that are connected with this. But if you've picked card three, then this is really allowing yourself to be in flow. And I'm definitely picking up on the flow. So this is about this ability to kind of slow down, the ability to rest. So definitely coming back to this past lives, this first card. If you've only just tuning into card three, go and listen to cards one and two, because they're going to help you to understand card three in a more holistic and more full way. But if you're using time as your weapon from card one, then having time to sit and watch the water flow by and look at the butterflies, that's not going to happen, because we're going to make some kind of excuse, or we're going to limit the time that we're able to do that before we get really uncomfortable, or we're going to tell ourselves potentially that we're lazy, or that this is not productive because I'm not doing something. How can this be productive where I'm just sitting and taking in this beauty around me? And I know that I say that in a way that actually I'm probably not going to say that to myself, but actually the actions would say something very, very different. And I speak from experience. So I'm not kind of like pointing any fingers or anything. This is just, these are my go-to like things that are coming up here. So this is about rest. It is about relaxation, recognizing, having this trust with this flow, allowing things to flow, allowing things to shift and change in your experience. And that can potentially only happen when you are resting. And this is active rest, not when you're asleep. That doesn't count. I don't, this is active rest. This is when we're conscious and we're intentional with our rest. There's something quite different with that. Um, so there is this rest aspect, there is allowing flow. So if you feel that you're pushing or wanting this real intention or desire to happen in 2025, and you've put your timelines in, coming back to card one, using time as a weapon. If I've not done it by, I've not done a certain thing by the end of the month, or it's not come in, and I've put all, I've done all my affirmations and I've done my Akashic work and I've done the pendulum activations, and I'm tuning in every day, and this thing still hasn't happened because I've put a time limit on it, then that's where time is being weaponized against yourself to then make you feel bad or wrong and that you're crap and you're no good at the magical work that you do. That's just another way that we can do that. So this card is saying, go with the flow, take the time element away from it, and enjoy aspects of the journey, because there's going to be something within the journey part that's actually probably going to collapse time and space, and that you do then experience what you need to experience. So that's just a general, if you've put some intentions out around 2025 and what you would like to, you've got your vision board and all of that. My vision board, I do actually need to refresh it because I've virtually done nearly all of the things that I was meant to experience. Clearly, the things that haven't experienced, I was not meant to experience, and that's okay. But mine is from 2023. I've just kept it up. So I do need to actually update it now. But I didn't kind of get hung up on the 2023. And in fact, when I do my next vision board, I'm not actually going to put a year on it. I'm going to do away with the time part, because it's almost like a reminder that if I don't achieve all of this by the end of the year, again, that I am doing something wrong, or that I'm not worthy, or whatever the feeling, and it might not even be articulated, but there will be just this sense of disappointment, frustration, disappointment and frustration that I probably would not consciously tap into, but I would know it was there. So this is what this card is saying. Don't set yourself up for disappointment and frustration by placing time limits on things. Don't do that also with allowing yourself to have this rest and relaxation, because it is needed for flow. It's needed for whatever needs to happen in the background, in the areas that you can't see, in the universe, in your multidimensional being, within your Akashic records, to allow more prosperity in. Also with this card, I also got the just be mindful around your mindset, your beliefs, your perspectives, your language this week around what prosperity is, what abundance, wealth. This is again about being in the moment. This is about being very present and allowing yourself to see prosperity and having gratitude for that prosperity in whatever form that is through your week. And that's going to really help shift your mindset. And for me, it's usually the small things that really amplify that, rather than the really big things, like like the number in your bank. It's not about that stuff. As we know, it's like having free oxygen to breathe and to support my body and to have it be able to function. That's prosperity right there. Not really needing to catch my breath or be very conscious of my breathing, because my lungs are in good working order. I'm able to just breathe and it be on automatic. That's prosperity. So it sounds daft, but actually that's the level that we can bring our prosperity mindset to. And when we are grateful for that and we notice these things in our experience, it invites more of it in. It invites more of you to notice that. And so you compound this energy of being in prosperity. And then that can filter out into obviously money flow, relationship flow, health flow. So it can, it's going to filter into these bigger life areas, but it's about being present. And that's what's in this card. She's very present. She's really noticing the magic around her and just being grateful for that. So let me know how these cards are landing. I would love to hear. From a fear perspective, obviously, there could be this fear around not having enough, not being in a prosperous state. And I know for some of you that it's going to really be hard to tap into that. But any small shift of mindset and feeling that you can tap into that is going to just be a start. It's a start which you can then celebrate yourself for and then do it again. And then do it again. And it might be you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Doesn't matter. It just means that you're starting to shift into more prosperity, thinking and feeling and believing, rather than just being, constantly in lack, scarcity, life is hard. Seeing that, life is happening to you rather than for you. So it's just that kind of like shift. Okay, so final card is the bonus card. It is growth and up level. This is your foundational bit. This is going to be the thing that actually supercharges all of these three cards. And if you've not been doing this for a little while, or you need to deepen your practice, be more intentional even. So it doesn't mean about spending more time. It's about just being more intentional in doing it. And it might be that you just maybe need to up the ante, as in doing 5 minutes every day or 1 minute every day, rather than just 1 minute, or even in an hour, like every couple of months. Just do it 1 minute a day is actually going to be probably more successful and more expansive and more growth and up level than it would be to just say that, chunk of time, big chunk of time every now and again. Small, incremental, consistent action definitely has a better compounding effect. So it's spiritual connection. So there is an open and surrendered positioning with this female. She's very open. For some people, you might think, she's leaving herself very vulnerable, but she has full trust and faith in that she is guided, she is held, she's supported, she is connected. So your growth and up level for this week is to ensure, in some shape or form, some kind of spiritual connection. And that might be through using some cards. It could be doing a meditation. It might be getting your pendulum out and doing it in a very conscious way, which is how I use my guides mainly, in a very conscious way. Obviously using cards, asking for your guides to be with you and asking questions, and maybe just doing a bit of writing, a bit of journaling. You can always just ask for your guides, beings of 100% pure love and light, to be with you whilst you do the practice. You can even do it, and it sounds daft, but you're going to go and peel some potatoes. Ask for your guides to be with you whilst you're doing that seemingly mundane task. And you know what? Downloads can really come through when we are doing those types of tasks. We know that being in water, near water, is a beautiful conductor for downloads. So being in the shower, being in your bath, turn it into a spiritual connection, into a spiritual practice. Driving for me is great for downloads. So you may have your spiritual connection when you're looking for a car park space and you call in the car park angels. But and you may call in Archangel Michael when you're traveling, but maybe start to call in some specific guides to help you with seeing a different perspective, or understanding yourself in a slightly different way, or how you can approach this in a different way, how you can up level and grow. This is growth and up level, spiritual connection. Your guides maybe have some messages for you that you've not considered, some new perspectives, a different insight. Or it could be that there's a healing activation that you can do that's just going to help unblock something and move you forward, propel you forward. So spiritual connection is where your growth and up level is. Of course, I'm always going to promote the Akashic Records as your empowerment tool to be able to do that with your Akashic Record keepers, of course, and your guides, your masters, your teachers, and your angels all being there, as you can see them in the card. So what are you going to do this week to support your spiritual connection and then experience that growth and up level? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. And of course, if you want more details around the deck, you'll find those in the description below. It is a modality in a box. It comes with a key pendulum or a key that you can turn into a pendulum to activate karmic healing, and it comes with a free masterclass to get you started. If you want to work with me over the whole of the year, then the Empowerment Oracle subscription is where you need to go. And I can hold space for you and support your growth and up level over 2025. So let me know how those cards land. There will be a meditation, a healing meditation that's also attached to the end of this video. So check that out, and that will help facilitate one of these cards in some shape or form. So there we go. Love and blessings. Have a beautiful week, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.